Right, well hi everybody, welcome back for another episode of On The Plot. I'm going to try and get a short video done tonight. What I'm going to attempt to do this week is to get some of the flowers housed and get them inside. We've had storm after storm after storm the last few weeks up the northeast here, and of course tonight's no exception. We've got heavy winds again, we've got Storm Brian passing over, and no doubt by the look of the skies we're going to have some heavy showers to follow. So I'm going to make it pretty quick tonight. I want to start off with my chrysanths. As I said in the previous video, I'm going to start and enter the shows again next year. So what I want to own some good stock. I've got about 6 different varieties of incurves and reflexes, but I'm only going to use 2 or 3 of these ones, which I know are good performers, and which I know can get a good bloom, which is good enough to show. I've got Liverpool Festival, which is a nice yellow incurve. I've got the Max Riley Bronze, which is a beautiful, not so big, but it's a nice incurve. And I've got the Max Riley Yellow. I've got 3 out of my stock. I'm not going to say the Billy Bell White or the white incurve. I've got some John Hughes and some John Wingfield Yellow and John Wingfield White. I'm not going to bother the John Wingfields. They're a pretty large flower and they're hard to get some good shape for a show, so I'm just going to leave them ones out. But what I am going to do is I'm going to send away to the chrysanth company over on South Shields and get some new stock in, which will be okay for showing next year. But as I say, all my stock's going to have to start coming in the next couple of days, and it's quite an easy job. As I say, since I cut these, deflowered them, cut them, and they've been sitting outside just in the beds for the last 4 to 5 weeks, and there's some beautiful new green growth in them. But this time of year, it's no good to me, so off it'll come. So we'll put the bronze box to one side, just for the time being, and we'll, as I say, I had a bit of problem with some of the labels. Some of them went to drip. I've still got a couple of them inside here, and I want to get the flower to so I can verify that the labels that's in the box, in the box are the ones that's going to flower. These I know because as I cut the flowers off, I made sure that the labels that were in were the right ones. So the first one's a Liverpool Festival. There's a large piece of stem there, which is no good. I need to cut it down around about 10 inches, so I'm just going to take that top off there, no good, and then we're going to take it out of its pot. It's quite an easy job. Now all this compost that's in here, it's not going to go to waste. I've got some nice big bins up in the top greenhouse, which I'm going to tend to use for my show onions and my show plant streaks. So all these pots will go in the bottom of there. Be a bit of manure added, some trench mix, some good bags of compost and some good garden soil, all mixed in with a mixer, and that'll fill them bins up, and they'll be fantastic for putting the show onions in. As I say, there's nothing goes to waste. I've got some nice fresh compost here, it's just our own homemade compost, and I think that's just right for putting these stools in. Right, so as you can see, it's a fantastic root ball. It's actually filled the pot. So we're going to take all that away. As I say, you can see come from the root ball. There's some loads of lovely green growth there, but unfortunately they would make fantastic little cuttings at the beginning of the year, but for this time of the year they're no good. So up they'll come. As I say, we'll probably reduce that right down. Take as much as we can away by hand, and as I say, all that nice root, fibrous root, all that will go into the top greenhouse, and they'll fill them pots up just nice. So here we are at the moment. Get rid of some of the rubbish. So there's our stool, there's our chrysanth stool. There's the root ball. We're going to completely strip it down of all green. I mean, as I say, in the springtime they'd make fantastic little cuttings. But this time of the year, they're no good, so as I say, after when they come, the main stem of the stool, completely stripped it back, all the green off. It's not doing any harm whatsoever, and what it's going to do, it's going to promote, there's loads of little buds sitting at the bottom there, and all of them are going to start springing to light and give a load of fantastic new cuttings, which I'll be looking towards round about end of December, the beginning of January, and I'll start taking some cuttings. All I'm going to do now with the secateurs is just go on the leaf, go on the roots, and give them a little trim, not too much, just a nice trim around, nice and short. And as normal, we've got half a bucket of water there. What I want to do there is for a nice, really good drop, sterilising fluid. Comes in really handy. Then all I want to do is take a stool and submerge it in the sterilising fluid in the water, give it a really good shake around. A lot of people use hot water, warm water. Just a cold water out the tank, this for me. Sterilising fluid, with a really good shake. You probably get away with about half a dozen like this, and then you have to tip the water out, and then replenish the water and the sterilising fluid. Well, there we are. I've got a perfect, good stem, nice washed root. With some of the varieties, I don't even bother washing the roots. If I'm just using them for the home, or cut forward for the garden, I'm not bothered going this far. But for the ones I'm going to show, I want to make sure I start off properly, start off right from the start, and I want a good, healthy crop of nice, fresh green cuttings in the turn of the new year. So this is the way forward. We know what it is. We've got the marker there, so we can shift the bin with the rubbish. And what I like to do is to get a 7-inch pot, and as I say, this is our own compost. It's a bit extra grit and a bit extra sand added, so it's nice and free draining. I don't want anything that's going to waterlog the roots. But as I say, they're going to sit here until at least April, until I get as many cuttings off as I can. I'll probably end up with a couple of dozen good cuttings just from that one stool. Sometimes they're a little bit short of throwing up new cuttings, new green, so you've got to be very careful. And all I like to do is just a couple inches from the top, and just sit that there, and just lightly cover with a layer of the compost. Lightly press it in, very lightly, gently, because these are just going to sit on the bench. They're not going to be outside in the weather, and they'll start taking root again, and hopefully with a shallow compost they'll start throwing up all them lovely green shoots. As I said before, as long as you make sure your labels what they are. This is Liverpool Festival, so this is definitely one that I will be putting in the show next year. So just keep an eye on these, and I'll take you through as the weeks go on in the next few weeks, leading up to leading up to January, when we'll start taking the cuttings. Now, cuttings are easy to take. What I will do is to take a couple of these down home. The idea of putting them in these pots is so I can easily transport them down home on a tray in the barrel, and these can sit on my heat bed. I've got a heat bed down home, which I showed you in the last video. Now I'll take 2 or 3 of these. I'll probably take one of each of Max Riley, the ginger and the yellow, and I'll probably take one of Liverpool Festival. That's only 3 plants, 3 pots, which is taking up no room whatsoever, and I'll sit these on the heat bed down home around about the middle at the end of December, nice and warm underneath, and hopefully by the middle of January I can start taking cuttings from these, and they're the ones that's going to go into the show. All the other ones, what I'll do is I'll hold some back for a later date. As I say, all your chrysanths at different stopping dates, from the end of March through to April, and even later on into May, and the beginning of May. They're all of the different stopping dates. So I like to get a nice big healthy cutting, well rooted, a nice good solid plant ready for stopping, for a stopping date. But what I mean by the stopping date is to take a centre grown bud out and sow branches, free branches. But I'll show you all that later on in our in a later video. But for the time being, we've got one potted up, but I've got a few more to do. I'm going to try and get these 3 done tonight that I want to take home. They'll be put to one side on the bench and just left there. A little bit of watering. I might give them a little bit of spray with a bit of disinfectant, and that'll be it. A bit of light jizz fluid. Just get them a spray down so it keeps them nice and clean, and they can quite happily just sit in the cold polytunnel where all the stock plants are just for the next 6 or 7 weeks. And then, as I say, we'll take them down home, pop them on the heat bend, and I'll take it from there. So that's the chrysanths out the way. What I want to do in the next video, I've already started down home, is to lift some of the dahlias. Now I know Joyce Hennequin down the southwest there is dying for this video. So what I'm going to do in the middle of the week is I'm going to start lifting it. I know it's a little bit early up here, up north. We like to wait until we get a good frost, blacken the plants off, and then an easy cut back. Dig them up, but I'm not going to wait that long. I'm going to start taking mine up now. I'm going to clean the tubers down. I'll take you through that step by step, because as I say, I want a nice stock of dahlias for next year to go with the chrysanths. I am sending away for some new stock of gladioli. I've got my own stock in there, but I don't think they're up to show standards. So what I'll do, I'll send away for some new stock, some nice big combs, and then I'll have me 3 blooms, me 3 sets of blooms for the shows for next year. So we'll leave it at that for the chrysanths. We're getting as far as I can with that. There's only one other thing that I want to show you tonight. Is if you remember, a while ago we put a few bulbs away for seed. Now there he is, popping through there, and this is one of the large garlic bulbs that didn't split. And we says we'll keep 3 for seed. Well, I've just had to bring it from outside. He's sitting on the bench and it's popping through there. Now the idea of me bringing them in now, they're just going to sit, as I say, with the stock plants down in the bottom polytunnel. And this one's going to be a 2-year project. Why I want to bring them in now for is to keep the rust away. As you know, rust's an airborne disease, so keeping these in the colour now, they should be free from rust, hopefully. They're in a nice free draining compost, plenty sharp sand in this bucket, well drained, and they're going to be in this bucket for 2 years. The first year we're going to let the garlic scape grow, let the head grow, and then we're going to shave the head, the same as what we do with the leeks, and hopefully we'll get a nice head of small flowering bulbils. Now we've already seen the combs, they're a different thing altogether. They're from the root ball. When you dig your garlic up, you'll get the combs, what you call the garlic nuts. You get them from the root ball of your garlic, but from the top, from the head, you get combs. So what we'll do next year, we'll let this flower, the same as what the leeks do. We'll tie it in, plenty of support, get a nice big head, and then we'll start feeding it. I'm sure this compost will last for a good 6 months. There's plenty of feed in there. Bone meal, which is a long-lasting fertiliser. It's going to keep that well fed. And then come summertime, when the head's on, we'll start giving it a nice feed, a nitrogen feed, maybe a little bit of potash mixed in. And then we'll get hopefully we'll get a good head of seed up it for the round about September time. But that's another project. I just thought I'd show you that, because it's just popped through in the last couple of days. I've got another 2 sitting outside, and I think I've timed this video perfect, because once again here comes the rain. We should know that song off by heart. Dancing shoes all locked away. Chris Pugh, she's often asking us if I do the rain dance. Well, yes, I did a couple of times in the summer when we were needing the water, but unfortunately it's stuck with us for the last few months. But I can guarantee you all, my dancing shoes are away. This is Stone Brian passing over in the northeast. So as I say, I'm getting the chrysanths in the night. Midweek I'm going to lift the dahlia, and I'm sure Joyce Hennequin will be over the moon. Being down in the southwest where she lives, I think they're pretty free of frost down there. So I think a lot of people just leave their dahlias in the ground, or use what you call a clamp, cover them with straw, or a compost and straw, once the dahlias die back, and then just leave them in the ground. But if you want to take them up, like we do, for stock plants, lift them, and then take cuttings from them, and then, well, next week, when I do the video, that's what we're going to do. So, I'm going to crack on with these couple of other chrysanthemums, get these done, and then that's it for the night. Get myself away back down home, and get stuck into some of my catalogues. Okay, so I'll see you all soon. Right, well, hi everybody. Once again, I'm going to try and finish this video off before the end of the week. Made mainly concentrating on flowers this week. Yesterday I got the chrysanths out of the way. I'm nearly getting most of my stools cleaned up and potted up into fresh compost all ready for the taking cuttings from next year. The queen of the garden, chrysanthemums, really bonny flowers. I love them. Well, if the chrysanths are the queens, tomorrow I'm going to start on the kings, and of course the dahlias. I've got a few tubers to clean up, something to do up. We're a little bit early at the moment. We haven't had any frost up north yet, but I want to start taking them up now and prep them ready for putting them on the heat bed come the end of December, beginning of January, so I can get plenty of young cuttings for the shows for next year. But before I start that, I want to get just another little flower out of the way that I love. A few comments the other night on the programs online. The sweet pea. What's the difference between sowing the sweet peas in the autumn and the sweet peas in the spring? Well, to me, you can't beat the sweet peas sown in the autumn. The root system alone is fantastic, but it's a bit trickier than the spring. Of course, the springtime you get nice warm weather. Your seed goes into your soil, and within a couple of weeks it's through. Now with the autumn ones, the autumn sown ones, I like to just take my time with these. As usual, some good seed. I've sent a few packets off to a few of the lads that requested them. I've still got about 50 packets of them sitting in the house. I got them off a friend last year. So rather than waste them, get them away and use them up myself. I do use other varieties, but this Fly the Flag one, it's really nice and some gorgeous scents from it. The wife loves them. A bunch full of sweet peas in the house, and it just it's indescribable, the flavour and the smells from them. Absolutely beautiful. So I like to grow these every year. If I'm growing them for myself, I'll autumn sow them, and that's a nice deep pot for a start, because you're overwintering these plants. You're putting them now middle to end October, and they're going to sit in the pots right until at least March, until you get some decent weather for planting out. Now you can use a half pint pot, just an ordinary plastic cup. Make sure you hold the bottoms. I just use an old fork in the kitchen when the wife's out. Put the gas on low, heat the fork up, and bingo. But my personal ones, pint pots, and of course empty ones, you can pick them up from the pound shop. 25 for a quid, it's nothing really, and to me these are a fantastic size, and that's the ones I like to use. Compost, as you know, anytime I'm seed sown, I like to use a multi-purpose compost and plenty of sharp grit with it mixed, so it's got a nice free draining texture. I sow all my pots in trays so I can water from underneath, so that's the idea of having the nice free draining compost that'll just soak up the moisture when they need it. I've done half a tray. I'm just going to finish these last three off, and then we'll get them up somewhere safe. So I started last night. There's my seeds. They've been soaking overnight. What you can do is either soak or you can chit. Chitting just means taking the seed and just scraping like the other side with a nice sharp knife. It's rather like when I did the garlic combs. I cracked the combs, took the skin away, took the shell away, took the second skin away. These are just a little bit different. They're pretty hard, the sweet corn, the sweet pea seeds. So if you take a sharp knife and just scrape away the edges, me, I prefer this method. It's just soak them overnight, so the moisture comes right through the shell, and then with a pint pot, I like to multi-sow at least 3 seeds, and then if by any chance you don't get the full lot coming through, 2, 3, you can always take out the weakest and leave the strongest. As I say, it's a multi-purpose compost, plenty of sharp gritting, and then what I like to finish off with is a seal again for a topping. The only difference is I put a handful of vermiculite, and it makes a nice area mixture on the top, and it doesn't prohibit the seed by any way coming through. So we'll just top them last 3 pots off here. What I like to do is bring it up an inch below the rim of the pot. That's your first. Put your seed on top, and then you can get a good ½ inch of compost on the top of that, which is still leaving you a ½ inch at the top. As I say, I don't water from the top, and I'm not going to water now because the seeds have been soaking all night. They've got all the moisture they need. The compost is nice and damp. It's not dry, and so that's perfect. They're in now. The final thing, don't forget to mark them, and of course fly the flag. They're a great variety, red, white and blue, so I'm looking forward to them. As I say, they're in them pots now. Once these start growing, which will be in the next couple of weeks, they'll start shooting through. I'm in the top greenhouse here, so it's nice and airy, plenty of fresh air, and what I don't want is to give these any heat. No heat whatsoever, just let them tick away nice and slowly. By the end of this month they should be through, just shown. I'll probably give them a little spray of chamomile tea, just to keep any pests away, or just so we don't get any rot. Of course, at that time of the year, November, you're starting to get a coolness of the mornings, coolness in the evenings, and that's the time when we start getting the boitress and the rot setting in. But I like to just give them a drink of chamomile tea, and that'll keep any of that away. Just let them grow on nice and slowly. By all means, don't force them at all. Just let them go away. And I like to let them go till about 2 or 3 leaves, a couple of inches at the most, and then nip them out, nip the tops out, and they'll grow away lovely and strong. By pinching them out, as you know, you're going to let them break into multiple stems. So by the middle of the spring, I'll probably put a split cane in, and then you can just put a small clip around your plants as they grow. And by come March time, that pot will be absolutely chock out root. And that's the idea of growing them over winter. You get a nice big root system, you get that in the soil in the spring, and they'll gallop away. You'll get nice fresh flowers by May, end of May, beginning of June. And of course, as I say, the sweet pea, it cannot be beaten. But this is my method anyway. I do sow some in the spring, and that's for friends, family. When I do my bedding trays, I always like to sow a few in pots. And all I'll do is, once again, just sow them in a ½ pint pot. And when I give the people them, they get them in them pots as they are, and they can just tip them out themselves into the garden, whether they're using wigwams, up the fence, rose trees, whatever. They'll grow anyway as sweet peas, and they're absolutely marvellous. But so that's them sown, as I say. They're in a tray. All I need to do is drop some water in the bottom of the tray when they're needed. I'm not going to water them in the night. I'm going to let them settle in for a couple of days. But the most important thing is light. These are going to sit up on top of the bench, or the top of the shelf, right near the light. And there, they've got full light. They'll just grow. They'll grow away quite easy. Just tick over. As I say, just keep an eye on them. Once they start coming through, you just give them a light spray. And as I say, once they get about 2 to 3 inches, probably 2 or 3 leaves, we'll nip the tops out, put a split cane in, and just put a clip on, and then they'll just grow away all over the winter. As I say, up here in a cold greenhouse, it's fantastic fun. Just a bit of cover. If the sun shines, them doors will be open. The wind will be blowing straight through. It'll be nice and cool in here. If it does get really cold, we've not had a bad winter up here for about 4 years now. We can't really say we've had temperatures down below freezing. But if it did get too cold, what I would do, I would shift them down to the middle of the greenhouse, where it's a little bit warmer. There's no vents or doors down there, so it's all enclosed. That's where I normally put the heater on. But I'll not be heating that this year, I'll be heating the big tunnel. So if it does get really cold, I can put them down there for a couple of nights. But apart from that, the sweet peas, they'll probably take down to minus temperature, you know. They'll not harm. not at all. So just keep them going away nice and slowly. Don't hurry them whatsoever, don't force them in any heat. Just let them come away on their own steam, and by next spring you'll have a beautiful pot full of roots and a couple of nice good sturdy plants ready just for going straight in the garden. So that's my sweet peas out the way. I've got lots of climbers in it that I've been taking cuttings from. I'll have to get stuck into them before the cold weather sets in. I've got fuchsias there to start taking cuttings from. Any amount of stuff to do in the winter. But we'll get there. It's just slowly but surely we're just chipping over. That was one of the main things tonight, is getting these sweet peas in, getting them with the road, and then we'll crack on with the dahlias tomorrow. So I'm just going to leave it at that tonight. I've still got a few seeds in here. I'm going to pop them in before I knock off the night, and then we'll finish off this video tomorrow with the dahlias. Okay, so bye for now. Hi everybody. Well, let's get this video finished tonight. As I say, I'm now in the little, what we call the melon house. We had this purpose built last year for our seed zone and a little heat room. At the moment, as you can see, it's full of dahlias. I managed to get all these dug up this morning, and there's some absolute beauties amongst them. Of course, that is the dahlia tuber. Looks like something out of Alien, I know, but these are the kings, to me, the kings of the flowers. There is a little bit of damage, but we'll just go through that step at a time, and I'll show you how I deal with some of them. I also like to dig my dahlias up with a fork. Never use a spade, because that's a perfect example. If you catch some of the tubers with a spade, you can just chop them off and leave a little bit of bare root there. But we can address that as we go by. What I like to do is, once I dig them up, use an old milk tray, easy enough, and turn the tubers upside down and leave them for a good day. These have been here since 10 o'clock this morning. We've had some lovely sunshine here in the northeast. It's been pouring down with showers morning and afternoon, but the sun's coming out there now, as usual, back end of the day, and it's the temperature's now reading 64 in here. Believe it or not, on an autumn day. Crazy. No heat at all, but that's the way it is up here in the northeast. So as I say, these dahlias were dug up this morning. All show ones, all large decorative cactus and pom-poms, and so they've dried out quite nicely. I've had them, some of them upside down, and the main reason for that is to get all the water, or as much as you can, from out the tuber, so it's practically dry. That can sit there for another couple of hours. I'll probably start on that one tomorrow. Right, here's the one I've just done earlier, and that's another beauty, tuber Dan. So what I've done with these, I've cut them all back, all the small roots, and some of the little tubers. If there's any breaks in them, just take a sharp knife or your scissors, and you can easily just cut them away. I think you get as much of the root, the fibrous root that is, the small fibrous root, away from the tuber, and that gives it a lot less chance of it rotting off. If there is any breaks or any cuts in the tubers, just go around them, check them out. You can easily cut the bits of tuber off, the small pieces, and what I like to do is just give them a little drink of a little wash with chase fluid and some warm water, and they'll be fine. Once they dry out again, you can give them a little dusting of yellow sulphur. Any of the roots that have been damaged, as I say, you can just give them a light dusting of yellow sulphur, and they'll grow quite happily. Now what I've got here is some small trays. Once again, it depends on your tuber. If you've got some of the real big monster ones, I can use a bigger basket, which are quite easy to pick up from the fruiters or your Chinese restaurants on the high streets, mushroom containers. The big flat ones sometimes I use. All I need to do with them is to put a sheet of newspaper in and a piece around the side, and it's a perfect pot for holding a dahlia in. So I'll start with this one. As I say, it's all been cleaned down now. It's been tipped upside down, been dried out, And all I'm going to do with this tray is it's just a small 3-inch tray. I'm going to sit that on 1 inch of compost. And that's just sitting, that's just level with the top there now, that's perfect. And it's just ordinary compost, nothing special about this. Doesn't have to be multi-purpose, don't have to have any grit or feed in it. All this is doing is covering it for the next few months. And all we're going to do is just wrap the tuber in some nice compost. And all it's doing is insulating it. Compost doesn't have to be wet, it can just be, as I say, when it's fresh out of the bag, it's usually just damp. And that's fine for the tuber. Just get that all nicely covered over. Doesn't matter if a bit of the top showing. And they're fine. As long as all that root's covered and all that tuber. And I'm quite happy with that. And all they'll go now is to sit under the bench. Quite happy. Pop them under there, frost free. And they'll be under there till the end of December. When they'll come out, and of course they'll go on. The heat will be on in here. So what we'll do, we'll take them out of the box and we'll lift them up and we'll put them into trays. Just ordinary seed trays will do. As long as they've got holes in, because we will be watering them. We'll just put a layer of compost, good quality compost and sharp sand. We'll sit the dahlias on them with a little sprinkling of water just to get them started, to be on the heat, and then we'll get them sprouting. But if you're just using your dahlias for packing away, I would suggest that you just put them maybe a little bit deeper box and get them underneath your greenhouse benches or your shed, as long as it's frost free, covered over, and they'll sit there quite happily till about end of February, beginning of March. You can bring them out, lift them into the light in the cool greenhouse and just sit in there, get them to start budding away until you want to plant them out. And well, of course it's on about the May time, early May. Never put dahlias out any other than June up here in the northeast. But I'll be taking cuttings from mine, so I'll need to have mine out in the heat bed beginning of January to the middle of January. I'll get them straight out, my chrysanths will be there, my dahlias will be here, all the shelving will be back up, because by then I'll be starting to bring leeks down from home, show leeks, show onions, and these are one to go up in the full light on the shelves. So this is the idea of this little potting shed here. That the gas heater is going to be in here, be nice and warm. This, by the way, is inside the tunnel, so we've got like a double insulation. But that's all I can do with my dahlias. As I say, there's been a few people asking. Joyce Hennigan from the southwest. Well, Joyce, I would suggest if you're going to take your tubers out, down the southwest, you'll not get many frost down there. So what a lot of people do is they build a clamp round them, and they just cover them with straw, manure, and soil. Put it over the tuber. Make sure you keep your marker in. Put your marker in where it are, and cover it over, and leave them, and they should be fine. If you want to take them up and start taking cuttings, by all means do. Dig them up, give them a good washing, and as I say, you can go around them quite easy. That's another big one. And it's a sorbet. This is an absolute beauty. But I'll show you all these next year once they come into flower. As I say, all you need to do is that's a tuber there. I've washed it now, and all these small little fibrous roots, just the little thin ones, I just go around and cut as many off as I can. There's some little bits of small tuber there. They'll come away, and all you're doing is you're making it as tidy as you can to fit in your trays. You don't want anything too big. You don't want all these small roots left on, because they're going to be the first ones to rot off. So just cut them all away. Right back your tuber. Just make sure there's no rotten parts on it. As I say, if you do see any, by all means, cut the bits of tuber away and give it a good dusting with sulphate of ammonia. With yellow sulphate, and that'll stop any disease spreading through them when they're in the compost. There's still little pockets of soil in there. Sometimes what I use is just a blunt paste scissors and just ease it in amongst the tuber, because it does get and there's actually a worm in there, so that's going to come out now. I don't want that sitting in there all over the winter, because that's going to eat its way through the tuber. But it's just take your time. You can do a tuber in about an hour easily. Just work your way through it, get it nice and clean, all trimmed up, and to me that's perfect. We'll go and sit in the tray now. That's a lovely bit tuber there. There's a bit of damage here, but I think I'll leave that on. I'm just going to dust that now with yellow sulphur, and I'm going to set that in the next tray. Sometimes the tuber is different in sizes. This is these couple of little ones that's tied together here. They're from a miniature pom-pom, or small poms. So there, you can see the size of the tubers there. Little tiny ones, but they'll go in a tray all the same. You can get some real awkward ones, nice star-shaped ones, but as I say, they all get treated the same way. And what I like to do is cut most of these roots off so I can fit them into a tray. Now, if you see that, the black on there, that's where that's been damaged in some way. So what I'll do with that, I'll cut that right back to the beginning of the tuber there with a knife, nice sharp knife. Cut that right back to there, so that damaged part's off, and then I'll give that part a dusting with yellow sulphur. But the rest of the tuber looks absolutely fantastic. It's like a starfish. You can eat these. I've never tried them. They're supposed to have a bit of a nutty taste in them, like a potato. They originate from Mexico. We've had them here for years, and they're an absolutely beautiful flower. I love the dahlia. There's all kinds, all different varieties. Something for everyone, you know, from the small, miniature, medium to the large, to the big dinner-sized plates, which I think this is one. But yeah, they're an absolutely fantastic flower. I love growing them. But I'll take you through step by step, all the way. This is the start. This is day one. They've been lifted, and now we'll get them potted up into their trays. And then hopefully by December, once the weather starts breaking, once we get the solstice out of the way, I'll get my lights on, get my heat on, and then I'll bring them out from underneath. And the beginning of the year, early January, we'll set them out in trays, give them a little bit of moisture, get them on the heat bed, and hopefully we'll get a good supply of nice new shoots to take for cuttings. But as I say, that's another video. That's starting in the next year. But for tonight, well, as I say, the sun's just go down there in the west, so I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to try and get a couple more of these dahlias done, boxed up. One other thing is, before I go, make sure you mark your dahlias well, especially with tubers. What we tend to do is take a marker from what was in the ground and just pop it in the top of the head. Now once we turn the heads upside down to drain off, you sometimes lose the markers. So what I do is get a bit of fine twine with another marker on and wrap it round the trunk of the dahlia, so it cannot come off. Even if you're cutting parts off, this will always be on that trunk, and you'll never mistake what it's a shame when you put a dahlia into seed or to get cuttings from it and you can't find your marker, you don't know what it is. So that's just another tip. But what I'm going to do with that one tonight, I'm going to turn that upside down, and I'm going to stand that just in a milk tray. I'll probably get 4 in there tonight, and what will happen, they'll just drain away. That's our part that was dropping off before. I'm just going to pop that off into the bin, and I'll cut that right back with a nice sharp knife. If there's no mould on it, as I say, it'll get a bit of yellow sulphur, but they're fantastic tubers. I've got 12 to do, so I think I better get stuck into them now, and then maybe I'll get home before it gets too dark. But for the time being, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you like our channel. I'll finish the chrysanths off. Sweet peas are all in. I'll crack on with the dahlias tonight, and hopefully we'll have a quiet weekend. Okay, so thanks for now. See you all again soon.